What's happening, friends? We've been talking about this National Association of Realtors settlement and how it's going to affect commissions for buyers and sellers and how they pay their real estate agent going forward. And so we've been talking about some myths and some common misconceptions. And today I want to focus in on sellers. And I just had a conversation recently with a seller who said, I heard my neighbor told me that I won't have to pay a buyer agent commission anymore come August. And that is absolutely not the case. We addressed that in the last video. You never had to, you were never forced to. It's completely negotiable. It always has been, it always will be. But there is a reason, and this is super important. There is a reason that sellers traditionally for 100 years, and I believe going forward for the next 100 years, will see the value in compensating a buyer's agent or helping to assist with the compensation of the buyer's representation. And so the first point I want to make here is that when you hire a real estate brokerage to sell your property as a seller, in most cases you're doing that because you believe they can better market that property than you can on your own, right? They have the ability to market it far and wide to their market internationally, depending on their company. They're going to take professional photography. They're going to have drone photography taken, maybe some video walkthroughs, some very fancy marketing to put online. They're going to do advertising. They're going to do some staging. They may help clean up the landscaping. There's a ton of things that a seller's brokerage is going to do to prepare a property for market and get you the highest and best terms. That's primarily why you're going to hire a brokerage to help sell your property, is to market it. And an important thing to understand is the most powerful marketing tool that a seller's brokerage has is providing an incentive, which we've done for traditionally for 100 years, to all of the other brokers in the market to bring their buyers to come and see that property, right? We provide an incentive for them to see a property come on the market and say, hey, I have the perfect buyer for that. Let me call them and go set up a showing and bring them to that property. And hopefully 5 different brokerages do that. And now you have competing offers over your property and you're getting the highest and best price. And the way that you create that incentive is by providing some type of financial incentive, a commission. And that's the way it's traditionally worked. And it has made a lot of sense, and in most cases benefits sellers greatly at the end of the day in terms of their net benefit when they sell their home. If they decide not to do that, if they say, you know what, I'm not going to provide any incentive, I'm actually going to give a disincentive to a buyer and say, buyer, you must pay for your own representation and pay extra for my house, it's not going to work out. You really got to consider, does that make a lot of sense to actually put your house at a disadvantage, especially if you're in maybe a condominium complex or a tract development and you have a home that is similar or comparable to 3, 4, 5, 6 other homes on the market. Say those 3 or 4 or 5, 6 other homes on the market are offering some type of compensation to a buyer's broker to bring their buyers and yours isn't. Do you really want to be the only one that says, you know what, you pay for your own agent while everybody else will help pay for it? It's going to put you at a significant disadvantage against those other properties that are comparable, and at the end of the day may net you way less money than you would have made if you had just offered a commission or some type of compensation to a buyer's agent. So it's something that you really want to consider in the grand scheme of things. Is this going to benefit you in the net? Because we're very used to coming out of the COVID market, the very busy, the crazy multiple offer market. I get that, and that's over. That's ended. We're not seeing that anymore. Markets change, and I can remember a market where sellers used to ask, you think 3% is enough? Maybe we should offer 4% for the buyer's agents so they're more motivated to bring people and show my property. And we are already seeing that in the market today, where we're seeing listings say, hey, there's a $10,000 bonus if you bring a buyer by the end of the month. There are sellers who are offering above and beyond a customary commission or level of compensation because the market has slowed down and they really want to get their property sold. And so think about that as a seller. You were never forced, but there's a reason, and maybe agents, I can definitely attest to this, didn't do a good job of explaining the importance of providing that financial incentive to get the house sold, because we just said, hey, here's the commission, sign the paperwork, and then you signed it and it felt like you were forced. That's unfortunate. It shouldn't happen that way. There should be better communication. But going forward, agents are gonna have to be forced to be better at communicating that value and the importance of providing that financial incentive. And then as a seller, you can make an educated decision on whether or not you want to do that. And agents are going to have to make a decision if they want to put themselves in a position of listing a home that does not provide an incentive, because you're putting yourself at a disadvantage and you're not going to get paid your commission if the house doesn't sell. And if this house is effectively providing a disincentive to buyers to buy it, you're going to potentially be wasting your time and effort to try and get that house sold because of that disincentive. It's all things that both parties are going to have to start thinking about and considering in the overall business, and it'll be interesting how it all plays out. But as a seller, please consider that. It's a big factor, especially in the market that we're in today. And of course, if you want to have a direct conversation about this, whether you're in our market or not, I'm happy to explain this and have a debate, answer your questions, address your concerns. But it's a very, very important thing to consider before you put your house on the market, is whether or not you provide an incentive to buyer's agents. And it's not illegal to do so. You are never required to. It's strictly a choice, and there's a reason why 90+% of sellers do it today. I believe we'll continue to do it and have always done it. So as always, if you have any questions, put them in the comments or shoot me an email at dylan@buyabigisland.com. There's always a link to book a meeting in the description below. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks for considering this point of view. I'll see you guys next week. Aloha.